The United States is top villain in Pakistan's conspiracy theory talks. Americans may think that the failed Times Square bomb was planted by a man named Fazil Shahzad, but the view in the Supreme Court Bar Association here in Pakistan's capital is that the culprit was an American think tank. No one seems to know its name, but everyone has an opinion about it. It is powerful and shadowy, and seems to control just about everything in the American government, including President Obama. They have planted this character, Fazil Shahzad, to implement their script, said a lawyer and member of the Bar Association. Who are they? You must know you are from America, he said, smiling. My advice for the American nation is get free of these think tanks. Conspiracy theory is a national sport in Pakistan, where the main players, the United States, India, and Israel, change positions depending on the ebb and flow of history. Since 2001, the United States has taken center stage, looming so large in Pakistan's collective imagination that it sometimes seems to be responsible for everything that goes wrong here. When the water stops running from the tap, people blame America, said an English professor in Lahore. The problem is more than a peculiar domestic phenomenon for Pakistan. It has grown into a narrative of national victimhood. In turn, it is one of the principal obstacles for the United States in its effort to build a stronger alliance with a country to which it gives more than $1 billion a year in aid. It does not help that no part of the Pakistani state, either the weak civilian government or the powerful military, is willing to risk publicly owning that relationship. In other words, this has become a very dangerous game, and this is a very serious thing. What could be the result, the end result of all this? And one result is that nearly all of American policy toward Pakistan is conducted in secret, a fact that serves only to further feed conspiracies. American military leaders slip quietly in and out of the capital. The Pentagon uses networks of private spies and special forces. The main tool of American policy here, the drone program, is not even publicly acknowledged to exist. The linchpin of U.S. relations is security, and it's not talked about in public, said a media analyst in Islamabad. The empty public space fills instead what hardline pundits and loud Islamic political parties, all projected into Pakistani living rooms by the rambunctious new electronic media, dozens of satellite television networks that weave a black and white prime-time narrative in which the United States is the central villain. People want simple explanations, like evil America, Zionist-Hindu alliance, said a Pakistani diplomat. It's gone really deep into the national psyche now. Yes, this is a very dangerous thing. One of those pundits is Zaid Hamid, a fast-talking, right-wing television personality who rose to fame on one of Pakistan's 90 new private television channels. He uses Google searches to support his theory that India, Israel, and the United States, through their intelligence agencies and the company formerly known as Blackwater, are conspiring to destroy Pakistan. For Mr. Hamid, the case of Mr. Shahzad is one piece of a larger puzzle being assembled to pressure Pakistan. Why otherwise the strange inconsistencies, like the bombs not exploding. If you connect the dots, you have a pretty exciting story, he said. But the media is only a part of the problem. Only a third of Pakistan's population has access to satellite channels, and equally powerful are Islamic groups active at the grassroots of Pakistani society. Though Pakistan was created as a haven for Muslims, it was secular at first and did not harden into an Islamic state on paper until 1949. Intellectuals point to the moment as a kind of original sin, when Islam became embedded in the country's democratic blueprint, handing immense power to Islamic hardliners who could claim, despite their small numbers, to be the true guardians of the state. So, together with military and political leaders, these groups wield Islamic slogans for personal gain, further shutting down discussion. We're in this mess because political forces evoke Islam to further their own interests, said an assistant professor of political economy in Islamabad. Lawyers in Pakistan have a strong streak of political Islam. Their pronouncements are infused with anti-Semitism, standard for Islamic groups in the region. The lobbies of the Jews, maybe some Indians, working in the inner core of the American administration. So, one theory goes. Liberals on Pakistan's beleaguered left see the xenophobic, patriotism, and conspiracy theories as a defense mechanism that deflects all responsibility for society's problems and protects against the reality that is too painful to face. It's deny, deny, deny. It's become second nature, like an instinct. So the argument goes that the denial is dangerous because it hobbles any form of public conversation. For example, about Mr. Shahzad's upper-class background, leaving society unequipped to find remedies for its problems. We've started to believe our own lies. For those on the left, that view obscures an increasingly disappointing history. For 62 years, Pakistan has lurched from one self-serving government to the next, with little thought given to education or the economy. Now, Pakistan is dependent on the West to pay its bills, a vulnerable position that breeds resentment. There are very real reasons for Pakistanis to be skeptical of the United States. It encouraged and financed jihadis waging a religious war against the Soviets in the 1980s, while supporting the military autocrat of Muhammad Zia, who seeded Pakistan's education system with Islamists. Anyway, these are more signs, and there's something much bigger going on here. This is a very dangerous game, breeding intense or immense resentment in the country of Pakistan, who is supposed to be our ally, but could very well turn out to be our enemy in some kind of way. Yes, this is a very dangerous thing that's going on, breeding resentment. And, again, these are more signs. Luke chapter 21, verse 25. There shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. There are many signs happening daily all around the world.